we are done. We are. Hello.
Yeah, we're supposed to start about the book now. We already discussed the Avila and everything. So
Yes.
thank you very much for coming and having tried your best to read the book.
Yes, we did.
I know you tried your best to read the book.
But we read the Happy Prince, just
Which
not
is
the other tales.
important. He read a summary and she talked to him. So let's see. Well, personally, I have like a summary of each of the stories,
Excellent.
but it's not as traumatizing as reading the actual story.
Mm.
Wow. Um, Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
Happy
today.
Thanksgiving, Turkey, pandemo,
Yes.
allá,
But
¿dónde?
that's not very American of you.
No, it's very so American.
Okay. Well, the rules are very similar to the other rules. Like this book is English flexible, which means if you need to use Spanish to add details, that's okay. But start your intervention in English. Everyone's opinion counts. There are no right or wrong answers. Meeting will begin promptly and end no later than 4 p.m. It's going to be very short because you didn't read the book. And the space must be that clean and ready for the next day because in here we always have many events. So we have three. We didn't see the title. The title. Everyone has to know that we have a template. Well, we have three questions for you. First, what is your name? Second, what's your favorite bedtime story? Not from the book, like your bedtime story favorite. And morals. Tell us a moral that you have applied in your life. A moral or an advice that you have learned and you apply to your life every day. Who wants to start?
I can go.
Okay,
Okay,
you
so
can
hi
go.
everyone, my name is Ricardo Grasso, most people call me Mario Ricci. My favorite bedtime story is Caperucita Roja. It is a classic. And a moral that I have found in my life is a refrain, okay, a quote that we normally use, el que madruga de periodo. So as I wake up early, I always feel like I have the time to do anything that I need during the day. So I have put it in my life because I have come to realize when I was the more that I spending the night
Okay.
watching a TV show, the more I would regret the next day waking up.
You
So
reinforced
yes,
that moral
yes,
during your
I was like,
vacation.
nope, the night is to rest, the day is to work. Yes,
Okay. Good advice. Good advice. Who's
yeah.
next?
I can go.
Yes.
So, well, my name is Ismael Omar. My favorite bedtime story, I don't think I have one. I mean, I used to read one that was about a lady and a dragon. And it was a child story, and I loved to read it because it had like pretty
Images.
drawings. Yeah.
Okay.
Although one of the drawings was literally the princess cutting the head of the dragon and blood. But I promise it was fun. It was
Was
pretty,
it
it
for
was for
children?
children. It was for children, I promise you.
Okay, and you had a good night
Yes.
of rest after reading that.
Yes.
You know what? You could have said Shrek and that would be fun.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I still have it at home. I will send you a picture.
Okay, thank you.
And the morals, well, I obviously do not follow
No.
the
No.
the moral
That mantra,
no.
that mantra. I wake up very late, but I do follow that kindness attracts kindness. So I always try to be kind so that people at least have the need to be kind to me back
Okay.
because I'm being kind to them. So at least they have to try.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
And what is your moral about timing?
I don't have one,
Yeah, I kind of know.
Okay.
but I will try to process that.
Exactly. You still don't have one, but
I
you're
still-
working on it,
yes,
right?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Is
good.
that the resolution for next year?
Yes, you know what? Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is.
I want to make a conversation club about New Year's resolutions. So that's gonna be for, I think,
Next week.
yeah, I think so. I'm going on vacation on December 10th. Okay, who's next?
I was gonna do George.
Tigmarín?
Well, hope I wish.
Yes.
Hi everyone,
Hello.
my name is Frank Casoria, I think when we talk about that, the book, the Happy Prince, I think it's uh, a beautiful history because maybe in that situation the prince he has a lot of maybe generous
Generosity.
he has a lot of money, he has a lot of famous situation, he has a treasury, a generous.
Yeah, he had a lot to give, but we are going to talk about it. We have time. I want you to tell me what is your favorite bedtime story, like at all.
No, but for me it's a beautiful
They have for a bedtime story.
maybe you don't like that situation.
Because of
I
that.
need you respect when your opinion in that situation, but I think it's a beautiful situation. But it's important in this moment. Maybe a lot of people they have a lot of money, they have a good situation when we have do you have a lot of food in your it's really fish. In the situation is a good because that is in that situation the prince maybe he suffered. He suffered. Maybe when we watch a lot of people, they, they don't have food to.
So that is your favorite bedtime
In
story.
that situation is important because when do you help another person? In this moment, maybe in this moment, a lot of people we, we don't like to help another person. We don't like a lot of care. We don't like to help. We don't like to give food.
Okay.
In that, in a little, a few situations in that book, for me it's amazing when he suffered. In that book, he died. When he died, maybe appears about appears. It appears a child. It's a
Yeah.
child. Maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe it's about a fantasy situation.
Okay.
In that case, years, watch the prince is a form that cheers. Cheers. That situation for me is amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
Good. Okay, next. Hello. Hello. Tell me, please,
Hello.
you read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah? The whole book?
I think one tale I didn't read.
Once. Okay.
The last
You
one.
read four.
Yeah.
You read four of them. Okay. It's okay.
Good.
So far, you're going great.
Yes, he's winning.
Okay, who's next?
He's winning. He's not. I read three, but I'm still working. He read four. I get paid for three. What about you?
Okay, who's next?
Hi, my name is Alejandra. My favorite bedtime story is Alibaba and the 40
Okay.
Wait, what? I got unblocked.
Yeah, that was a very good
Oh my
story.
God.
Yeah.
It was very common by the time we were like younger.
Yeah, I know. I just
And
got it unblocked.
the second movie of Aladdin is about that.
Oh
I
my
have a
God.
question. Is that same situation about Venezuela?
No.
Maybe about
Well, no, there are thieves,
They
but
are more
oh my God, I
serious.
didn't remember anything
But do
about
you
it.
remember that
Yeah,
that's where
I
they say
feel
out
so
the sesame?
old. Oh my God. 40
Why did
feet.
you feel no?
Because I read it when I was like 6 years old.
You are 21 right now, right?
Yeah. You don't be big, please.
21.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Amora Julie
How do you feel now, Diana? Tell me.
Amora Julie Pie.
It's not my business.
Okay.
Oh,
You know, in Pinterest, I have a phrase like that, like, how was that? Like, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah,
Something like that, and I love it. It's like, not my
exactly.
circus, not my monkeys, goodbye.
That's the moral that I
Okay.
most like the most.
Good.
I am trying to apply to let them. They want to let them.
It's good.
Hello, my
Hello.
name is Guadalupe Morales. Nice to meet you. Okay. My favorite bedtime story is about cuento de niños.
Yeah, the one that they tell you before going to sleep.
Well, now, because I am adult, that
Yeah,
is
adult, yeah.
now, that is real, my favorite bedtime story is the book from Isabel Allende. The name is The Totality of the Days, La Suma de los Días. It's about her life. From the day when Paula died
Okay,
and now.
start.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
And I would like this book because she lived in Venezuela and she put typical words, Venezuelan words. And this detail connect to me to continue the good. Okay, the moral, okay. We try to be the change that we can see in others. Understand? Gandhi. We try to be a change.
You're gonna be the change you want to
see.
see the world.
Yes.
Okay.
The transformation
You
starts.
know, I heard that, I hear that, and I think of Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
I don't know, I think he said something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there is
No.
that. There is that.
That man in the mirror, no?
Yeah. Not that no.
That's Michael Jackson.
Yes.
I don't know Michael Jackson.
But he has one else that I don't know.
No,
but it was
it's
a-
that one.
I just remember the other one.
Yeah, that
What you
one.
say.
He's
I
a bridge.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Excellent. Despite of other things.
So clear that, that's it.
So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he says that.
Okay.
He's new.
we knew.
No.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, thank you. My name is Osvaldo. I don't know a lot of bedtime stories, but my mother read us in childhood Harry Potter, the entire saga when we were children. Yeah, and it's my memory of bedtime stories.
Why don't you just say that person that was high and everybody saying?
Yeah, I read because
I don't know.
I don't
All-
remember.
I have a whole
I
story.
said Caperucita Roja because I don't remember the name of the story where there's a wolf and three pigs and they build a house and the wolf blows the house.
Walls and the three.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I just couldn't figure it out.
I don't know the Green Brothers stories, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Green Brothers, that's so weird.
you know what? My bedtime story was Snoopy.
Okay.
Snoopy, cool.
Okay. What is the moral that you live by?
I don't know. I think that you can be free, the freedom, if you don't hurt someone or make damage to some others.
Okay.
Make happy to everyone.
Yeah. Good. Well, I've been thinking like 10 minutes. What was the name of the story that I read so many times because I love it?
What is it about?
My name is Diana, and my favorite bedtime story. It was about like a girl, and she lived, I don't know, with somebody that was bad, and she had to go to the witch's house to look for something. And one time
Rapunzel.
she stays,
No.
no, but it was similar. And I don't know, the witch would send her to do the duties in the house, otherwise she would eat her.
Hansel and
And
Gretel?
she had like,
No, Hansel and Gretel
she
are
had
the
a
two
little
brothers.
doll that helped with everything she had to do around the house. And
Matilda.
she always finished on time. And the witch was like, how? How did you finish on time? And she was like, no, I have this little doll that is blessed, and she helped me. And she's like, okay, it's blessed and something. And she's like,
Oh, Nanny McPhee.
okay. The moral that I live by is ignoring everything that annoys me. I do that very, very well. You don't know how talented I am. Okay, a little bit about the author. We have Oscar Wilde. He died very young. He died.
Well, he's not that young. Wasn't he was too young, right?
40.
No, he died of meningitis.
Really? Yeah, he
Yeah.
Only 46.
wasn't he for
He was
death
killed by the
penalty?
disease. No.
Well, he was in jail.
Yeah.
Ah, I thought he was
His
given
death.
death penalty.
And he was, those years were really bad for
Yeah.
him. And then he died, he was only 46. But he lived a very intense life, actually.
I never saw a picture of Oscar Wilde. It looks like Dylan Murphy.
Oh my God, now I cannot
You
see
know,
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't know.
Let me look it. Yeah, I will look it up and I will show
We
you.
will look it up.
So like Dylan Murphy.
I don't see it.
A
Are you
little
looking?
bit. Yeah. Like a little.
No, but look for a young, like
A younger
No,
version.
this one. Yeah.
A younger version of him.
Yeah,
Very
he
young.
looks just like him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
do
see.
see it. I do
I
see it.
honestly don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the trauma.
Well, he did.
That was
Why
such a
he's so
global
small?
Yeah.
It
He did a
happened
lot of
by-
things. He did like one of each thing. Like he wrote one novel, he wrote a couple of bedtime stories, he wrote one play. Like he did one of each
Okay, good.
because he didn't live that much, I guess. And well, these tales were published in 1888, and it was a fairy tale format to critique Victorian society, exploring inner beauty versus outer appearance. Like I guess he was very Christian, based on the story. So the first story and the main story, because you all know this story. At least you all know this story.
The
Okay.
one that we all can go on right now.
So,
Yes.
what are the major themes discussed in the story of the Happy Prince?
You know that I find it similar to the story of Siddhartha. Of Buddha.
I don't
What?
know the story.
Which one?
The story of Prince Siddhartha.
Who?
No, that I
No
found it
either.
similar to it.
But what is that about?
Because it's the story of the first Buddha, and it was like he had never he was in a castle, and they like never let him see the misery of the world, and
Okay.
So it's
when
very
he
similar.
got out, he like discovered all these things like that people could age, that people could be ill, people could be poor, and all these things.
His family died, right? I remember that.
In Siddhartha.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I know that he, in some point, for some
He
reason,
was
he got
basically
out
living in a bubble.
of the castle and he
Yeah,
found
yeah.
that,
Okay. And what does he do? Like he helps people, or
no, he became a monk, and then like he like
He didn't have anybody. He just decided to be a monk.
he enlightened himself, that's what
It's their philosophy. It's totally.
and he basically told everyone to chill,
Yeah,
and
you know.
that they didn't need to eat.
He's sitting under a tree, right? And
Yeah, and
meditating all the time.
so if he couldn't help by giving them food and everything, he would convince people, "Oh, you don't need to eat. No, you don't need that. You don't need help. No, you're okay like that.
Yeah, but
You will be blessed
my body
in the
doesn't
word
need
of the
food,
Lord."
doesn't need food, doesn't need water, doesn't need air. I just need to enlighten myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
But it's a topic. Well, they discussed the story basically on that the prince was like
Yeah.
living in a bubble.
Yeah.
It's a really sad story.
Yeah.
I think all of that story are so sad. I remember that when I was a child and I listened, it was like tears, falling from my eyes.
I was thinking like, how is this a bedtime story? You told me
Yeah,
before
totally.
going to sleep, I'd be like all night.
It's so
Do
hard.
all of them have like ampliar?
Sorry.
All of them. I think
Have a what?
the bird. The
A bird.
A bird.
No, the selfish giant doesn't have one.
No.
It has a kid.
Ah.
But the bird is a metaphor. It's a representation of a messenger.
Yes, that's what I was
Shower.
thinking.
The shower.
Yes.
Shower.
The swallow and then the nightingale.
It's very shalom, shalom. So
Yeah, I think this is a lot of self-sacrifice because it's like giving little bits of
For me, it's a very important situation in this moment. Maybe they have a message. We talk about the political situation. Maybe when do you watch any person you like, you don't import that situation. Maybe for me that situation is beautiful because he has he had a lot of money, a lot of
treasure
possibility
to help.
but in that situation he feel sad.
Yeah, it goes that.
He has maybe a good high level of the life, but in that situation he feels sad, guilty.
Yeah, because in his life he was very happy. He didn't know.
For another situation, he died. When he died, he speak, he talk maybe about metaphor, fantasy situation. He suffer when the people we don't have for to when we have a lot of
Poor people.
poor people.
Yes, and he tries to help as he can, but
He
I don't
was
know.
For
very
me-
passive.
for me personally, the major scene
It's a classic situation.
that happens around the story, the Happy Prince, is regarding the fact that when we have a point of view and we stick to it, it's so hard to notice different things. So even though it was a statue, he realized that by different taking different views, he realized that most people were having a hard time, trying to survive or to deal with. And he tried to do his best to sacrifice himself in order to give the people something in return. But it was not reciprocated. So
No, not really.
he
It was
gave the
very
sapphires
selfless.
and the rubies and the sword and the gold to other people just to be left for nothing. And I think there's a question that arises from the story like, okay, you can sacrifice yourself by doing everything to other people, but if they actually are not grateful because those people didn't know, they didn't care, they just accepted it, they took it from it. Will people actually recognize you for your sacrifice?
I don't know, but it's not the message. I think that the message is that give to the people and don't wait nothing to return, like, recognize or nothing else. It's a beauty message, I think. I like so, but it's so hard. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, but
it's so sad.
we cannot always be giving to people. Like,
I mean, it's a story for kids because it's like,
I
okay,
think
that
it
you
is
have,
good
you have
for,
a,
yeah, taking that point, I think it is nice because you're teaching the kids to be caring. Yes,
Yeah.
no,
and the narrative is so simple because you have a little daughter of a daughter that punish him, but in the real life, if you gave like gold to that girl, that just drunk with that with this
Yeah.
gold, and but it's not the message, I think.
Yeah, he couldn't have fixed everything
Yeah,
with
I
everything.
mean,
Like
the
they
writer,
ate bread that day.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a message also to be non materialistic.
yeah,
So
the daughter,
you can detach from having gold or sapphires or rubies.
Yeah,
Actually, if you don't want them, just give it
Well,
to me.
the writer that, no, I can finish my play right now. It's like, okay, in the real life, you don't
Yes.
do that with the gold.
well,
It's
actually,
different.
the in one part happy princess, like, well, give that gold to these kids that have nothing to eat. Like, people always, he told me, like,
happy
people
with gold.
always think that gold is making them happy, but it won't, but give it to them because, like, at least they will eat for today. It was
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
everything
you
he
can
could
give me
do.
gold though. I will be happy.
You know, there is something about this that I didn't quite understand, and it's the previous story of the bird.
I
Like,
didn't understand it either.
I don't know what is the role of that story. Like the bird.
Oh, I think that no, I don't connect the dots. I had completely ignored that part of the story.
Yeah,
But I
me too.
think it's that he found it was a tree, right? Or a yeah. Well, the tree I don't remember what is it called.
The
But
woolly animal.
basically, he was like trying to impress her and all, and she didn't like mind because she was a tree, but he was like, oh, you don't, you don't pay attention to me, you don't care nothing that I do for you, and then he like put in comparison the happy prince and the tree, and then he falls in love with the statue of the prince because he saw um, in first place he didn't want to stay, but then
Okay.
when he was like asking him to stay, but for a non-selfish reason,
Okay.
like he truly fell in love,
Okay, you really
and
connected the dots.
and
I
he
have.
died for that.
I didn't understand. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, this part was okay. I'm reading a really just went well. The prince became ugly to the world when he gave away his gold, but beautiful to God. In today's world, do we value people for their gold live or their living hearts?
I think it depends on how shallow you are. Yeah, just say.
I
Yeah.
think now, I mean, I'm thinking about the job that we have to do stuff
I'm
and we
horrible,
have
I
to
know.
show that we are doing. And in social network, you have to show that your work is important, that you have a lot of people following you. So I think nowadays, it's like it doesn't make sense to make good things if nobody's watching. I don't know if that is today or
Okay.
it's
What I
always
have in my
like
mind
that.
is the meaning of it's just my opinion. But actually, I think that even though most people say that they do not care, the truth is that we do. No, of course, we do, we do. Maybe the percentage of how it matters or how it affects us, it will depend on each. But at the end of the day, I think that we have created a world and a circle where we are based on receiving the applause from other people. We want to feel validated. We want to know that we are doing something important, even though that it won't change or affect anybody in our surroundings. Because at the end of the day, we want to belong to something special, even if it is a circle, even if it is inside the family, or a small group of friendship. Um, I think we do care about character because when we go to like the group or the elite society and we take it into consideration only just one relationship, like if we have to get married or if we want to formalize a situationship, we do care about character because we need to know how the other person's behavior is actually going to affect us at the end of the day. So in that moment, we consider how is that person going to fit into my dreams, goal, expertise, experience, whatever projections. But also, we can always tell and we do perceive the appearance of other people also. I remember going to a birthday party of a friend of mine like 3 weeks ago, and there was a table as big as this one, and it was two status quo completely different. Like there was the people who were drinking champagne, and there was the people who would look like the drivers of those.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was the same restaurant. They were eating, but they were having champagne. They were drinking beer. You know,
Okay.
they were white. they were not the ones. And things
Where were
like
you?
that.
Georgia.
And I was upstairs with a glass of wine. So you could see that I was actually in between.
It's completely different,
It's
right?
really different. I was hired with a glass of wine. They were doing something. You do the math. Now, okay, coming back to the point. I think at the end of the day, we do care, and it's part of everything. We just need to like balance things out and to trust our judgment whenever we are actually going to put it into evaluation.
Yes.
Well,
And that's my maker. Thank you so much for having me.
I think that you actually have to usually you have a mix of both because it happened. I mean, this is something that I think about a lot because well, I moved this year to here. I have like a particular life experience, and it happened to me that I found like a friend group where first I was not a a parent of status, but I was like a little bit interested in them because I found them like good students and people that were good to have around. And then I get to be more close to them, and now I found I have known them more, and I know that they are really good people, and I like them, and it's like a little mix of both because it began where like what can they give me and what can I give to them, but then in between that, yeah, like I found like the real character of them.
It makes
And
sense.
also, I think the things that happen, like I think it's something more modern that in academical things, for example, and I think about this a lot because of my future plans. That, for example, you are going to volunteer, and you need to have a proof that you volunteer for future
Yeah.
academical opportunities. And if you want to like do like a further I don't know a further
Application.
for applications that maybe you do want to help, and you want that you have a goal, and that goal might help like for example I want to do my specialty in another country, and I want to be a researcher, and that's why I want to do a lot of volunteering. So it's like, well, you have like it's like a little interest action, but if you look like further, it has a good,
You have a point. Like, yeah, you can do volunteer, but you know you will need that, so you take a picture because
Yeah.
you need it.
and it's
We
like
are
you
forced.
need to show it, but you have a good intention, but you need to show it to be
Yeah.
able to keep doing that.
Yeah, you just cannot do it by you anymore. Not always. Okay, this is horrible. I found this picture. How many of you got to the second?
I
Yeah, you four.
I didn't
You four.
read that.
Okay, the Nightingale and the Rose. This is the one you didn't read.
Yeah.
Well, look at the picture. That's the story.
Do you know what is a nightingale?
A bird.
A bird. How smart.
Because
thank
that's
you.
a rose, you see? So I'm very
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
good at math.
Yes.
That's what I see.
Okay, but you know what kind of bird it is?
Yeah. Do you know what kind of bird?
A
No.
brown.
Okay, nobody cares what bird it is.
Okay. In Spanish, it's called ruiseñor.
Yeah.
But
But
the
the
search
thing
page,
is,
but I didn't find any.
yeah.
But actually, like, there's a variety of ruiseñor because the actual ruiseñor is called mockingbird.
Monkey bird.
Mockingbird.
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 Yeah. Like what was it?
But it looks like a paraulata. It is just brown and more fatty.
Okay. I really don't know how a listener looks like.
Yeah,
They
that
are-
was what I was thinking. Like, I don't care how to say that in Spanish because I wouldn't recognize it.
Around
Any
these
language.
times, you should be seeing some of them because they are actually birds that migrate. So around this time, they leave the states. They flew from Canada and they are arriving to Venezuela.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
The cool thing is that I am the biologist of the group.
I just like
Yeah.
you should
In
do
Maracay,
very
there is a place where
You should
all
do
of the
very
birds
fast.
from the north
I
go
go.
and they all pass through the same spot.
Okay.
I've been there and it's pretty cool.
They take the same way.
Yes, yes,
It's
the same
cute,
way. I have
it's
friends
cute.
who work there.
The real mockingbird is right.
Great.
Okay, the story. A student claims to be in love, but needs a red rose to dance with a girl. And a nightingale, believing in true love, sacrifices her life to stain a white rose red with her heart's love. That's the story. So, it's, I know. So, what do you think? Is a sacrifice still meaningful if no one appreciates it? What do you think of this nightingale? I think it's too, I don't know, too generous maybe.
I think she should have said it's not my
That's what
Yes, she would realize if she would live by your
I
heart.
think this story has more of the meaning that you were trying to convey, that sometimes we should not give too much of ourselves for others.
Actually, if you notice, all the stories are connected by a single thread.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that at final all of them like no
it's the
not
same
right?
message.
All the stories, you know, the whole story.
Yeah, this
If
is
three,
so.
if you have a streak of three, the other two must be like the same final.
This is so related by when we was talking about right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About the sacrifice, or what do you want to give? I
Is
don't
it
know.
still meaningful if no one appreciates it?
For me,
No, I mean you can ask you that question in your life daily, like if it's a question that became viral in social networks, social media, like a month ago, like if you go to the supermarket, you take your car and put it in the file again, or into the row, or you just leave there like that. Or if you are walking, you smile to know people or say hi. That kind of things that don't take you nothing, but helps to other people maybe. If you do this in your daily life, you can ask you.
That would improve
That
our
kind of-
quality of life as a society.
Yeah.
I think the real question
Gestures.
is like, what is the purpose of the sacrifice? Like, if you're doing it to actually show something or to get something in return, then maybe that's when the answer changes to.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
at the end of the day, if you're trying to sacrifice yourself for a greater good, you won't matter because you're making a volunteer decision to actually have that happen, right? But if you're only doing something in order of the expectation that you create in your mind just to see it materialize in the real world and it doesn't happen the way they want it, you get disappointed. But that's not on other people, that's on you.
Yes, because
Thank you, I am so smart.
I think it's meaningful if you do it for yourself because at the end of the day you will always know that you did it, even if the others don't know. It's like I read a sentence that I liked a lot in a book recently that said something like self-esteem is the reputation that you have with yourself.
Oh, how cool.
And I think it's a little bit of that. If anyone else appreciates what you do, you still know that you did it. And you know that could have do something else, but you decided to do something good to do this sacrifice. So I think you will always have that satisfaction.
Okay, that's not
It will depend on
morally fun.
for whom is the story. Is it for you to tell yourself? Is it for tell it to other people? Do you want to play this cognitive dissonance in your mind? Like it will depend.
What would you do?
In my case, I think is maybe do you believe in God? When do you believe in God? When do you live in a palace? When do you live actor, excellent actor, when you live with another people,
When you are rich, you
when
live
you
in
are
a
rich,
palace, in
when
a
we
very
talk
big
about
house.
that situation, it's about Christine, about ironic, fate situation, when we talk about fields cleaners. When we talk about that, is do you think I I feel I believe in God, but you don't help another person.
Okay.
When do you give food to another person? When do you help? When do you selfish? When you are selfish, do you only believe in you, man? And
Okay.
in that situation,
You mean that a good Christian should be helping other people?
okay, in that
Yeah.
situation, he have a lot of situation but that live a good life, but he feeling sad, a lot of sad because he maybe is not a happy person.
He doesn't have a good
He-
reputation
he-
about
In
himself.
that case, maybe he he bought a lot of plenty of himself, a lot of himself, a lot of testing, a lot of treasure
To
to help
help.
another person.
Okay.
When we talk about that, it's a Christian, it's a crítica de hypocrisy, hipocresía.
Yes.
False
You know, this question makes me think of parents. Because
Parents.
of parents in
Okay.
general.
Yeah.
Because
Do you not appreciate your father? Is that what you're saying?
what I'm saying is that what they sacrifice we don't see because usually what they sacrifice in the moment they sacrifice the most, we are very little.
Yeah.
So
it may
it is meaningful. The baby doesn't appreciate that you feed them, but
But it's different because
yeah.
when that kid grows up and you can see the values, the whole
and they become a
sacrifice.
teenager and say, I hate you.
No, that doesn't care, but the parents always is like, okay, that's my child, he's doing something
Yeah,
well with the
well,
life.
kind
They
of.
normally take
Parents
pride in the work
sometimes-
they produce.
Yeah.
Part of them think of something in return. They imagine their son, their daughter as grown ups. Like, no, I'm gonna have like a lawyer as a
Yeah.
son or something.
Maybe
like
you
that.
don't need that now, of course.
No.
Yeah, you don't need that recognized because you know that your kid is doing something well, is working,
What's up?
make
And maybe parents doesn't actually get recognized by ourselves, like the children, but they get the recognition by other people. Like, oh, I saw Carlita the other day, and she's a grown woman now. She's a grown woman.
Well, I can tell my dad that the show that my mother is Christian.
Yeah.
That he
That is the way. That is the way it
that
works.
he recognizes himself.
Yeah, exactly, because he goes, my daughter. My.
You have kids?
Did you know
No, I don't
my
have
daughter
that.
has English and
I
she's
you, Fran, do you have
Okay.
No?
So the end of the story. The end of the story. The girl rejects the rose for you, and the student throws the rose in the garden. Deciding love is silly and returning to his book. The sacrifice is ignored. So yeah, that is this another sad ending. Two sad ending. Two sad endings in only one story.
I will have returned to
No, he has a big problem. He doesn't have any esteem about himself.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
he found the red rose and said, "Ah, I found it," and gave it to the girl, and he didn't know. He didn't know the sacrifice made to make that rose possible.
She didn't know.
He didn't know. The student didn't know.
no,
He took it from
and
her.
the girl,
And we take
the-
for granted the
the
gifts
girl
we
had told
receive.
him that
Yeah.
if he brought her a red rose, she would dance with him in a ball. And when he went and he told her, I got the reddest the world. And the girl told him like, no, actually I prefer to go with this boy that has money. That like I don't like
Yeah.
anyone
But
could find
the
out.
problem
And
was
moral
not
is make money.
actually the boy, but the decision that he made. Like he could have given the rose to any other girl.
Someone that
He just decided that one because it was a capricho.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day,
Fue caprichoso tú.
well, but he wanted her,
Yeah.
and she wanted another one.
What
And to
kind
her,
of boy like, okay, this one. Like I don't care what
Actually,
Actually it could be, but is that the moral that we want to give?
if we look at the files of nowadays, no.
We shouldn't. Like, we
No,
are
but-
not looking at
But
those files.
it's totally different because the
Because
rose
what kind of
was
boy
with the
actually?
blood of that little beard, and it's totally different because if we're just a rose to the floor, like okay, it's the rose
Yeah.
table. It's totally different the story, but I mean the writer complicates all story because it was with the dye, the
Very
death
dramatic.
of yeah,
Like, the boy
totally.
was crying, was dying because he couldn't find the
But
damn red rose. Wow.
I mean, the boy didn't know how
The rose was made.
Yeah,
but he said like it was the most beautiful rose in the world, the reddest
Yeah.
rose.
Yeah.
So he somehow
Because we're with blood,
recognized,
right? With
like,
blood.
yeah, and he recognized that it was special even if he didn't know why. But he recognized there was
Yeah.
something special.
But
in
then
that
He
rose.
didn't even keep it.
Yeah,
He
but
did not keep
that's
it for
the
himself.
moment when you remember what you read about the little prince and everything changes.
Yeah, but that doesn't care because I mean, if nobody knows that the beard give your life to that rose, it's like that doesn't care. I mean,
Yeah.
because I think that the question about the sacrifice is how much can you give, right? I
Or
mean,
what is the intention behind it?
yeah, I mean, I cannot like go to Africa to help the people, and I don't know if that sacrifice will make a difference or if my life can make a difference or value more than their life. It's like okay, if you can, el utilitarismo, it's like a philosophy. If you can give all of that you have, I don't know if the sacrifice makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, that the kind of sacrifice is totally
I think
different.
it could make sense if it makes you feel good.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
if it
Do you
makes
wanna
you
try?
feel good,
Yeah, órale.
but if it makes you feel good, then I don't know. I feel like there should be something in you that.
Yeah, yo sé lo que
But
Yeah.
I don't know why you would feel the need to give everything because I think by nature we are a little bit selfish. And I say
Obviously,
this
yeah.
because we have to. I mean, we have to
Yeah,
eat.
yeah.
If we don't eat, if we say no, I'm not
No,
gonna
but
eat
also,
it yourself.
also if you give everything, then there is going to be a point where you can give nothing. So if you give a little, then
You can give in a smart
more.
way.
You can give more in the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean the tale is a exaggeration and a simplification of life because I mean I can appreciate the sacrifice that missionary of I don't know a Christian church can make, you know, like go into America and make good to the people in you know in the forest or in the desert. I mean creating schools and something like that. But how many missionaries of the Christian church we don't know in the history that gave his life or just came to, you know, the jungle in Panama and died of malaria, right? Or they like thinking that he was doing something well and they weren't. You know, it's a lot of possibilities and that sacrifice and beautiful changing a lot of things.
Now I'm thinking like how is the correct way of living your life?
Yeah, yeah.
How much should we give? I think we should give in a smart way, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Selfish giant.
The selfish giant. It wasn't my favorite. How many of you read this one?
No.
Okay, you.
Yes.
Okay, you too. Okay, good. Well, a little bit about this. A giant bans children from his beautiful garden and builds a high wall. Then winter settles in permanently. One day, children sneak in and scream returns. The giant's heart melts when he helps a tiny crying boy. And years later, the giant is old and feeble, and the small boy returns, revealed as the Christ child or something like that, to take the giant to his garden paradise. So,
Ay, casi
yeah.
no rendí.
No, he
He
did.
died.
Well, but he went to paradise. No, but he did.
But he went to paradise.
But we all are gonna die.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, but do you want to say that to a children? I thought so. He did.
But it's a good ending.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's like,
Yeah.
if it's such a good ending, why are we avoiding it so much? And maybe, I don't know,
Because
we
we
have
don't want to
different
die.
opinions
It's
about
because we should not avoid. We should like
We cannot avoid
embrace
it.
it. No.
Embrace it.
embrace it.
I don't know. They found that the ending feels really weird with the story, right?
Yeah, well, I actually found the ending of the Happy Prince also very weird because I think everything was sad, and then they have a paragraph like 3 lines long saying like, okay, God picked their favorite things and they lived in the world of God, and I was like, okay, this was like a soap opera in Venezuela that everything goes wrong, and in the final chapter everything goes right, like this.
Yeah.
I felt like
Like
that.
they come be together and the final culture they get married.
Yes, exactly.
I
And
think
everyone
Oscar
gets
Wilde
married.
was writing the story, and then he remembered it was supposed to be a bedtime one, and he was like, "Oh, I have to finish
Paradise.
it." Yes,
Yeah.
like, and he went to sleep. Bye bye.
Okay.
Disconnect. Send.
Okay. In this story, the giant thought he was protecting his property, but he was actually imprisoning himself in winter because the winter lasts like a couple of years when the children were not around. What do we lose when we refuse to share what we have?
Sometimes or at least.
Our peace.
Or humanity.
Okay, our peace is very, very important. But I mean, this happens all the time with the things that we have, and it's been difficult to get them. It's like, why am I going to share this?
It's true.
Like I have this comfortable space, and I bought these nice things for me, and I don't know.
It's true.
Some people
I
don't want to
think
share,
that-
I don't know, their clothes with their
I mean,
siblings
I kind
or
of see
things.
your point, but I think the real answer will be experiences. What we lose when we refuse to share what we have is experience. Experience in order for me to share a cup with him or to talk about this or whatever. When we share what we have, we may lose our peace because sometimes it gets turbulent, right? It can be, it could go wrong so many ways. So not by staying inside or being locked up, you are going to lose your sanity. It will depend on how locked up you are. I mean, if you are in jail, I would assume that you will lose your sanity. But if it is only regarding to share what you have as resources or wisdom or even stories to share, I think
Yeah.
you miss some experience.
When we share our space or when we are children and we share our toys, we kind of win experience, but yes, sometimes toys get damaged and the space you want to share your space with someone and then you don't want it anymore. So yeah.
I think it's what you were saying before that we need to share things smartly. So we need to know what we are going to share, why we're going to share it, and what is the purpose that we.
Yeah, you need to ask yourself how many things can you share, how many things you want to. I mean like if you want that I share like mom and dad with you, I'm losing that of course, but it's like okay, you're my friend or I can do
Yeah.
because but you cannot share your bed with unknown people, right?
Yeah.
But be alone.
No.
But in that story, I mean, they are kids, and the kids they are playing, and they
In the
are
garden.
they are making
The
Not
kids
like
damage the
innocence.
flowers.
I
and
mean,
everything.
children are a symbol of innocence.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he knows that while he won't get harmed. Maybe they can destroy the garden, yeah, but they're not doing it properly.
Yeah, it was a secure space to
Exactly.
the kids can play and grow happily, right?
Yeah. But you know, he couldn't have his garden for himself because then he would have winter forever. And I was like,
That's
that was a little bit imposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to share
Oh,
it because
Yeah,
I'm dying.
you don't have midterm there, right?
Yeah.
No, yes. I know it's an exaggeration,
Yeah,
but it's like,
But
okay,
I mean, if you're giant and on that, but you have a giant garden, what you will do with that thing?
Yeah, I would have shown my garden, and somebody would be like, "Oh, can you water those?" Thank you.
I am so
Put that people to work.
sad that
No.
you haven't read this story.
No, but I mean, I were a kid and I live in a building, right? And in that building we have a park, and sometimes the old people was like, I need to sleep, please get out of here. And it's like, wow.
They didn't like the kids in the garden.
Yeah, the kids in the garden, right? And it's like, sorry.
They were the giants, but not in size, but in age.
Yeah, and it's okay. The park is for everyone, right? You can share that.
Okay, who read this one?
No.
No? Did you read this one?
No,
Yeah. Okay, this story would make you very, very mad. Okay, so we have two main characters. We have the rich miner who claims to be Hans' best friend, but constantly takes from him without giving back. Like, I
Why
am
did you
such
look at
a
me?
good friend. I'm looking at everyone. Like,
She was like,
You
without giving back, and I was like, nope.
okay, so I'm not going to look at anyone.
Thank you.
He takes like everything. He's like, well, I'm such a good friend to you. You are so lucky, like, to be my friend. And at one point, he says that he's going to give him I forget the word. How do you say carretilla? No,
No.
I mean height. Okay, I got a DJ. Like, no, it's very old and it's not working well, so I'm giving it to you. And then he's like, okay, well, since I'm giving this to you, it would be fair that you would help me with this, and that you would do this to me, and you would go and ask so many things because it would be only fair because he's been so generous because he's going to give him the old carretilla that doesn't work.
Exactly.
Borrow.
Yeah. Period.
Huh?
Barrow,
Borrow. It's another word.
Wheelbarrow.
They use.
push cart.
Chariot.
Well,
Chariot is an actual
Well,
chariot.
That.
I don't know what
The carretilla.
the carretilla. Yeah, okay, but he's in the right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And he speaks eloquently about the mobility of friendship while letting Hans starve and eventually sending him to his dad on a stormy night. He's like, oh, my son is so sick, and since I've been such a good friend to you because I'm giving you my carretilla, then if you can take my son to the doctor, and he's like, oh, yes, of course, I'm going to do it. Would you bring me your lantern because it's night? And well, I would do it, but it's new, and I would be very affected if something happened to it. So he sent him to his dad in the night without a lantern. So you have to read the book, and you can be mad with me at these two characters because it's like,
But he also kills his child. If he wants to take the child.
no, he got to the doctors, and the doctor went to the house, but in the way he died. But yeah, the son didn't die because
Yeah, I'm going mad right now.
Yeah.
I was very, very
It
mad.
happens a lot.
What?
Like these things happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's an
I never
exaggeration,
experienced it
But,
before.
yeah.
Yeah. We
Like
all-
I have like the name here.
Of a person.
Yes.
Yeah, we all
Okay.
can have an example of that kind of things, right?
Well, you can share examples because you didn't read the book. So if you want to discuss something, okay, Wilde exposes the hypocrisy of those who use beautiful words to mask selfish actions. Can Can you think of an example of this?
Why are you looking at me?
Who is
Because
looking
you
at
have a lot of, you can give a lot of
I have an
examples.
example.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about example.
Well,
ready, she's
I
ready.
have like this friend at school that she didn't like to study, and we had like this physics exam, and I wasn't going very well in that specific topic, and it was in pairs, and I had pair with another friend in couples, and I was with another friend for the exam, and she came to me. Do you want to do an exam with me and you do it for me? And I was like, no.
Okay.
And she said, but you are always with this other friend. And I was like, yes, because she studies. And she was like, but I told you a burger the other day. And I was like,
A burger.
yeah.
And you were like, yeah, it was
And
disgusting.
I said that to you after that.
So I already paid. I already
And
paid.
she was like, okay, but if I hadn't, you wouldn't have eaten anything. And I was like,
Then you would have like.
You were the best friend. You were the best friend.
oh, sorry, I don't want to
You
play
don't
couple with
appreciate
you.
Yeah, you can appreciate the burger. You are the best friend.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I won't accept any other burger from you. Like,
No, don't
Yeah.
Okay.
but it was we had a fight for that, and everyone knows. And after that, we were mad at each other, and we were in groups for a lab, and she was like giving the lab, and I was like here, and she told me, "Can you borrow me a pen?" And I was mad at her, and I said, "No, I'm using it," and I don't know how we were screaming to each other
From the other
Right,
side of the
okay,
room. Okay.
You know what I should have done? I would have bought myself a burger. And stayed in class like,
In front of her.
exactly, like, this is me eating my burger that I
Yeah,
just
the
bought.
situation scales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, well, that is exactly the book. Like the book, you would be mad like for 35 pages. You're like, oh, because little Hans is like, oh yes, he's right, and he stops eating and he stops watering his flowers because of him, the other person. And the miller is like, okay, I always visit my friend every summer, every spring, so he gives me flowers because he likes to give me flower. And during the winter, that he has no flower and nothing to eat, he's like, no, I am not going to bother him because people, when they are in tough time, it would be unfriendly to annoy them, visiting them. So I'm going to wait until spring so he can give me more flowers. So the whole story is like that. It's very
But I
Okay,
think
then.
it's
correct.
I will read that and I will text you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I read, sorry,
You
I
have to
hate
read. You have to
Miller.
read it too, and you have to send it to your friend or ex-friend.
Well,
I
ex-friend.
don't know.
No, she
The
didn't,
burger.
but the problem is like the problems were when we studied together. Not that we graduated and we are friends again.
Okay.
Where I was simply like,
But you
do
don't
you
eat burgers
remember
together.
when?
Yeah, you eat burgers with her.
No, not anymore.
But I think that's.
I just don't know when you want me to read it.
Well,
Yes,
that story.
Ismael, tell us.
That story speaks a lot to me because my mother always tells me that I do not know the line between being friendly and being at the service of other people. So sometimes I'm always giving too much. Like for example, I'm in university. Oh, we have to do a group project. I'm usually the person who does the most. Like I correct everything, I do that without being asked, and it's like I give myself
More homework.
more homework that I should have, and I could redistribute the workload.
Okay.
Just because I'm like, oh, I want to help my friends, so I'm like the
You're
little.
your little hands. Your
Yeah.
little hands.
Sorry.
No, it's not my business more.
You
No,
have
not
to
yet.
stop being little
I was
hands
like
because
you
you end
are.
up dead.
And
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
to end that?
Yeah.
Answer that.
You have to read the story
I
and learn the
do.
moral
Exactly.
and identify the meaners in your life.
So now I'm like, I should have read it.
When
I
you are,
guess in your
when you are in
life,
that
right?
situation
Yeah.
now, you have to tell them, sorry, I can't because I
Do
could
you
die.
have a
Yeah.
mirror in your life?
I could die.
I don't know, I will have to think
Yes.
about it. Okay. The last book, The Remarkable
I don't know what
Rocket.
she's implying.
Someone? Yes? Okay, you read it. Excellent. One person. Okay, The Remarkable Rocket. This is not a good
Picture,
illustration
no, yeah.
because it is of the last part. But this is a beautiful one. I really love it. Okay, what is it about? A firework believes he is the most important part of the royal wedding. He is arrogant, condescending, and believes his tears prove his sensitivity. It's pretty cool because he doesn't
Why
think
do
like
you continue looking at me?
I'm looking at everyone. I'm being nice, I'm looking at
I think
everyone.
you're-
She was like, he's
You're
arrogant.
protected. You're protected.
Your subconscious is telling you
Yeah, we have been playing for this the whole day, and she has been like being more direct with this. Actually, she
You
was
have
like,
to
"Why
read
you don't
the
want to
book.
read it? You should read
I
it."
mean,
And I was
it's
like,
not-
"I'm going to."
You have to see,
Ultimately.
like, find the eight difference between the rocket and Ricardo. It's just like a game. So yeah, he thinks like they are so lucky because they are getting married the day he's gonna be launched.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like no. They are so lucky because they will get married on that day. That is
Yeah, they should
the
be
level.
grateful.
Ultimately, he fails to go off at the right time and is discarded in the mud. Still believing he is creating a sensation. It is a humorous yet tragic look at extreme vanity. Like he really thinks he's the most important thing ever, and he's like, oh no, they are saving me for a greater occasion. Like when I go into the sky, it's going to be so mind blowing. Can I read like the little part I tell you? Because I don't have my phone in here, but I think that part was very funny.
She was like, "I'm just reading this. Do you see yourself?"
No, I don't know what
Here.
it
do
reminds
you
me of
have
you.
anything to say about it?
Yeah, she was like, "Do you have any opinions, comments?
Okay.
Maybe a psychology test?"
No, but you have to read the book. He's like, I am always thinking about myself, and I expect everybody else to do the same. That is what is called sympathy. It is a beautiful virtue, and I possess it in high degree. Suppose, for instance, anything happened to me tonight. What a misfortune that would be for everyone. The prince and the princess would never be happy again. Their whole married life would be spoiled. And as far for the king, I know he would never get over it. Really, when I begin to reflect on the importance of my position, I am almost moved to tears.
Period.
I find it so funny. So you have to read this. I mean, it's very funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I
I didn't
love
reply to her because I knew where it was going. I was like, I don't see what you're trying to do.
I know this is a little bit of a dream.
What's the
No,
meaning
but-
of you
Yeah.
sending things?
But it has an ability background, right? Because
Yes.
it's like my
Yeah.
father was a super rocket and my mother. And I think that it's like I think that the whole book has a critics to the system, right? And the
Yeah.
nobility and the royalty. It's a little bit like that because all of that values. I think that you cannot see a lot of it in the royalty, right?
Well-
You know, but there's actually a psychological concept that confirms that it doesn't only happen in circles where they have to be like a big story. Like people can come in here and say like, mi papá no tuvo trabajo y por eso yo decidí estudiar. And that will be like the story they create in
Yeah.
order to make an excuse for everything else. Like I know people, I can say few names. You know them too, honey. You know them too, honey.
Yeah.
And that always the same answer is like a shift they create in their mindset in order for them to remember that they're humble or that is where they come from. So it can make an excuse for everything else that is actually not connecting with that.
Yeah.
Es, lo llaman disonancia cognitiva porque es el discurso que se Yes.
See.
Like it's like
It's
what-
the story that you
what-
tell,
what
but
are
it's
you
the story that you
telling
tell yourself.
Yeah, but I think that can help you to do something good things, but it cannot be the excuse for do whatever you want,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
It's totally
And it's
two
like-
different things.
And it's like, okay, that's your story, but you're not the greatest human in the world for that. Like,
Exactly.
like
Get over
people
yourself.
have
Get over
stories.
Yeah,
like,
people will go like, oh, I came from Africa now. Yeah, we're so many. Like, oh, so many.
Yeah,
Like, actually, my descendants do.
Yes.
So,
My Tata grandparents
It's
were
like
probably
you
from
can
there.
like you can tell this story, but you're not the greatest. I mean it's interesting, but you're not the greatest human in the world. You're not the only big person in the whole world that has gone through things. Also, you are not the only person in the world that has a background of like great people. Like
what else is in your story?
Yeah.
Tell me
yeah.
something else.
What about you?
My
Yeah.
favorite phrase about that is se cree la tapa del frac.
Ooh, the only Pepsi in the desert.
Yeah, that is a good one.
But it's pretty cool because I like the other characters because they were not like little him. They just ignored him a little bit. Like, they let him be, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. But there is a funny scene when he finds a frog that is like him. It's like him. And she speaks and speaks and speaks and he's like, how do you dare speaking so much? And he's like, yeah, because I enjoy talking, because I hear myself. I think this has been an excellent conversation and everything. And he's like, oh, just sit there.
Yeah.
It's very cool when he
Yeah,
speaks.
the thing about that kind of people that he cannot, be good with the people that is like better, right?
They don't think.
Yeah, they
Because
hate.
it's like, what do you mean you're the greatest? I am the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
But
get
slow down
insulted.
there.
Yeah.
Well, he has a lot of bad features. So I wanted to focus a little bit on the good parts because the Rocket was indeed a very, very confident fellow. So, should we learn something from him? Should we praise ourselves a bit more like he does?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
I
maybe
think
not
so.
like he does, but
Well,
maybe.
But it's important to
Yeah.
recognize yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and be sure and not be something that I don't like also about sometimes other people is that when people get mad at people talking about their achievements.
Yes.
It's like this person did that, and if they are telling they want the right to talk about this, like in certain level, and you have not like sometimes I feel like people feel threatened at people acknowledging their own achievements, and I think it's not something bad to be like secure about what you have done, but it's like you have to like in some way keep it cool.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, people who are in very big positions, they are not like smarter than you. They have more experience, maybe they have, like they took the right path, but we shouldn't doubt ourselves sometimes. We do. Sometimes we have to be a little bit like the rocket, like I can do it, I'm the best, I am going to change the world by doing this.
Yeah.
So, yes, we have to
I think so. I'm a little bit at fault with Ricardo because I always tell him like because sometimes he asks me like, am I being like
The bad guy.
like no, not really the bad guy. Like, am I being egotistical or narcissistic? And I tell him like, no, I don't tell him yes.
Okay.
I tell him that he has the he has the right to really show off what he has done right. And there is no problem with him showing like, okay, I have achieved this, I have done this. And of course, there's a line between doing that and being egotistical. So I think,
Now
Well,
I'm thinking,
that
now I'm
reminds
thinking
me
you're a
of-
little bit like AI.
That reminds me of a conversation.
Have
that I
you
had.
ever talked to AI? They never tell you something that is
I am like AI.
No, I agree with you.
That reminds me of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine like 2 years ago. He's called Omar. He's the husband of a friend of mine, and he has a cousin that is basically my age, okay, but he just barely graduated from the UCB in Estudios Internacionales. And one day he was talking to me, and he goes to his wife, and he was like, "I wish my cousin would be more like Ricardo." Like, and I was like, "You cannot say that. Our paths are different. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, we're still 25. We're both 25, but I have done a lot with my life, and most of the time because I made wrong decisions. Actually, I feel grateful, but I have done a lot because I decided to. Most people don't know they have the opportunity to do that. So we cannot compare, and I think that's
Yeah.
always the issue.
Yes.
People feel, I sometimes, and Isma knows this, I don't share what I do or what I have gotten or the rewards or how successful I am in life, normally because people get trended by it, you know? So I rather just, like when they ask me and it will be like, yeah, I know how to do that. Oh yeah, I know about that stuff. Oh yeah, I actually study that. And people will be like, oh, but you're smart. And I will be like, yeah, I know. I just
But
want to
you're
say it up
smart.
front.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I
I just
am.
want to say it up front. Because at the end of the day, people, yeah.
So you study.
But people at the end of the day try to reach or feel like they are in sync, like they are trying to meet on the same level. So whenever they see the opportunity of having a friend that is smarter or richer, they feel a little bit trended.
Yeah.
But it's something that social culture has prepared for
We
us,
need to care about ourselves.
and we need to focus
You know
inward.
that
Yeah.
sharing a quick anecdote. Well, to put you in context, this is context. This is not me showing up, okay?
Okay.
She decided to be
Her
humble.
before showing up.
No,
I was like,
because
yeah, I'm not
it's really,
thinking.
Okay, okay.
It's really related to this that I going in the UCB, but not by the exam or the OSCE, but for a course that you do that you must study and all and present. And I had like first I had a group of friends that they really didn't study in general. And I always felt like the pressure that when I got a good grade and I was like really excited to talk about it, and when I said like, oh I got, or maybe I would say like I'm worried that I'm not getting an 18 or a 19, I think I got it maybe a 17, and they would be like, and you know like
Yes.
and
Like,
because
why are you worried? Like,
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was like when once I had like a review because I had gotten at 20, and my friends were like 4 or something, but I didn't know, like if they know, and I said like, oh I got a 20, I didn't know, I am so surprised, I didn't know, and the whole table got silent, and I was like, oh, like, yeah.
And everyone with their 4.
But
Like,
that
I just studied the whole night. I didn't sleep that week. And you were like, I didn't study.
But the thing is
That
that
would
they
be me.
didn't. I was
That's
the one
us,
that
actually.
didn't
That's a
study.
conversation that we
That's the
have
point that
had.
I wanted to get. I was the one that didn't sleep that night because I think one was in a party, the other one was in the beach.
Okay.
And it was like I feel bad.
Then
But
you shouldn't feel bad
then
because
I
you
got
got a
to
good
my
grade.
then I got home and I said, wait, I didn't get to anywhere in the last 3 days because I was like at home with a book here the whole day. I slept at 2 in the morning. Like, why was I ashamed to say the result of my effort?
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think it happens a lot that
It
we like feel ashamed to share our achievements, but then you say like, okay, but maybe this person didn't have this achievement, but I worked for that,
Yeah.
and this person did not. And why should I feel ashamed for sharing my excitement or that I am proud about that?
Okay, yeah, you have a very good point. It's very difficult because sometimes we
It
don't want
is.
to sound like, okay, we are, but yes, you are right. Like, okay, I didn't go out, I studied. Try doing it at the same time. No,
And
you
it's
don't want
something
to
like
be-
in that specific situation, but I think it happens a lot in life with very different things, like with a lot of different in different situations.
Yes, you are right. have to, I don't know, we have to know how to recognize ourselves. I don't know, make
Yes.
notes or something. Okay, so thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming. This is the last book of the year because I know you're on vacation on the 10th of December, yes. I still don't have the book for sure for January, but I think it's going to be The Bridge of San Luis, no sé qué. Yeah, it's a bridge that falls and 4 people died, and then a monk, afraid, ¿cómo se dice afraid? It's not that. Trace back their stories and the decisions of life that make them get to that moment, something like that. It is a little bit about new decisions, new lives, and everything.
We are not voting right now.
No, because I didn't have time to put many books. And because it's January, in December we are not doing anything.
This is not a
Unless he
democracy.
wants to do something. I don't know. But no, the 18th, no, we don't have time.
This
Like, I gave you a whole month to read 5 bedtime stories
No,
for
you
children,
didn't.
and you didn't. So you're not reading the whole book.
You know what is even funnier? He just decided to go get a book in French today.
Yes.
Well, you can come to the conversation club. You don't have to study for that.
When you said you wanted to create a French conversation group.
Yeah.
Ismael, you would have to lead that because je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas beaucoup de mots en français. Alors,
Yo no compro
je
pan.
ne suis pas préparé pour. No sé qué no
Mi
sé
prima
qué
baguette,
más.
croissant.
Ok, bueno, yo lo lidero, parte del cover.
So that's what it does. Yes. It's very late. I have classes. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you to you.
Okay.
It's 4.
Teoría.
Voy a tocar mi campanilla junto con todos amigos.
¿Cuánto es de que era para mañana?
Ah,
¿Cuánto es de
Están
que era
preparando algo para diciembre.
a mí también.
Ah, está.
No sé, porque da igual.
Mediación Caribe, que está ahí.
Ah, no, si te no, pero no.
Bueno, mediación
Pero ya me dijeron.
No, ya dije.
Así que sí voy a tener entrada.
No, sí llega.
Tenemos que meter entradas.
Cuando los niños se votaron, los niños se votaron.
Está detrás de la gente.
Yo te levanté.
Bye.
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 Happy New Year.
En el año, y a mí me tocó ser sabia. Me parece difícil porque a mí yo raramente me enojo.
Oswaldo es bien. Tanto así que el día amigo que venías y que justo Oswaldo.
Ha pasado.
Y ella así como que te acuerdas una vez y dije,
Yo no sé si él sabe si él sí sabe, ¿verdad?
¿Qué
Que no sabíamos que
la primera vez que tú viniste, que te invitamos a la oficina, tomamos un café, que vimos varios,
Estábamos
cuando tú te fuiste,
hablando
todo el
y
mundo
tal.
dije, ay, me cayó muy bien Ricardo, ¿de dónde lo conocí? Yo no sé.
Sí.
Pero sí,
Y
exacto.
todos es que pensábamos que era amigo tuyo y yo no.
Claro, está aquí hablando con
Sí,
nosotros.
sí.
¿Quién es esta persona?
Como se llama.
How do we
Todo el mundo se unió, exacto.
how do we close this?
Porque me creí que empezaba
Ya llegamos a la
que dice
vida.
que empezaba
Okay.
y me quedé esperando así y Ricardo fue a ver.
Okay, ya terminamos. No sé cómo lo cortamos. ¿No? Okay. Bye.
No entendí. Bueno.